What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Indianapolis Colts and my thoughts on their defensive line and has it gone from good to great? How do you guys see the Colts off defensive line right now? Do you guys think it's going to go from good to great? Do you guys think it's going to be worse? Do you think it's going to be better? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Give me your prediction of how many sacks that this Colts defensive line will have, and if you want, go ahead and drop the sack leader. Do you think it's going to be Buckner? Do you think it's going to be one of our rookies? Do you think it's going to be Kwity Paye? Let me know. Do you think it's going to be Grover Stewart? Hey, you never know. Let me know what you guys think. So let's get into it. So let's start with two guys that we drafted in the or in the early rounds. We drafted Kwity Paye at 21, and then we drafted Deo a little later. So, Chris Ballard really showed an emphasis to draft quite a few players in case, one doesn't maybe work out. You could throw the other one there and it'll work, vice versa, whatever goes on. But I think Kwity Paye is an awesome player, His character is amazing. The moment he got drafted, the dude posted like a tweet saying, you never have to work again, Mom, you can retire. And he has awesome character, and he's a really hard worker. He goes 110% every single down, every single play. That's what you love to see from a guy who actually has talent as well. I'm really excited to see Kwity Paye. And how is Kwity Paye going to do? My prediction is his first year, I think he's kind of going to be like a Jabal Sheard with much, much, much more pass rushing upside. I could see him getting 5, 6, 7 sacks somewhere around there. And then you go to the guy in Deo Adengbo out of Vanderbilt. This dude is huge. This dude is longer and bigger than Buckner. Yeah, and you know how big Buckner is. Buckner's like 6'5". What? The dude is huge. That's my point. You guys know what I'm saying. And a lot of people were mad about Chris Ballard doubling down on this position, but we've seen in the past that Chris Ballard has, double dipped in positions where, it was an area of need, and if one doesn't work out, sometimes the other one, and sometimes both work out and sometimes don't work out. Just how it goes. I'm really excited for this for these edge rushers, but I think there's a guy that no one's talking about that I think is gonna break out this year. And I'm gonna go with the guy, the one and only Kamoko Ture out of Rutgers. Man, I love Kamoko Ture. I'm so excited to see what he has because if you go back a few years to when Jacoby Brissett was a starter in that Chiefs game, every time you were on defense, every time Kamoko Ture was on defense, he was on the edge. He was coming off that edge, whether it was Mitchell Schwartz, Eric Fisher, two really, really good tackles. And obviously now one is on the Colts, but he got past Fisher, who was an all-pro that year, who was a Pro Bowler, and Mitchell Schwartz, who was one of the, a really good freaking right tackle in the league. So, he got past two really good tackles, like almost every dang play. Like almost every play, you see the dude coming off the edge, coming around the corner. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life from Kamoko Ture. I mean, he was doing really good, and before that, his rookie year, he was decent as well. We didn't see as much of him, but he is a guy that made a few big plays, and he definitely did that in his rookie year in his sophomore year, his second year, until he went down to a nasty ankle injury. And that sucks so much because the dude is really starting to show a lot of promise. He was really starting to show what he is capable of doing, and him last year, people thought he was 100%. But we all thought that he was 100%, but he wasn't. He had to go in for his second surgery this offseason, so hopefully he gets healthy, and hopefully, he really gets healthy and comes in next year and makes a big difference. That's what I'm looking for. I love Kamoko Ture. I'm excited. I think he has the ability to get 13 plus sacks season. I honestly think he does. I think he's going to break out and be a really good player. Um, and then of course, you go to Ben Banagoo. He has some work to do. He's not in favor of the coaching staff right now or Chris Ballard. He hasn't worked 110%. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a cut this offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of those surprise cuts as well. Just a player that has not developed, that has not shown anything. He has not shown much. Um, maybe he's shown a tiny bit in past years, but man, come on now, come on, Ben Banagoo, like, come on, bro. You're an awesome dude. You're an awesome dude. You have great character, but you gotta, if you don't put him 110% every snap, the Colts aren't going to play that player. They're not going to play him that much. They're going to limit his downs. They're going to limit him. And, it showed last year that he really didn't see the field that much. Even when we have some guys hurt, he really didn't see the field that much. And, if you go to, and then you go to the guy that we signed, from the Chargers in Isaac Rochelle, he's a decent dude. He reminds me of Denico Autry. His stats were similar coming to the Colts as Denico Autry's stats were coming from the Raiders. So if he does do, if he does a role something like that, if he's anywhere, Denico Autry was really good at times, but he also had times where he was very inconsistent, very just not consistent enough, and he'd get 2 or 3 sacks a game, and then he would go a few games and you wouldn't hear his name once. And that's not what you want. You want consistency. You want consistency every game, and he didn't have that. So that's one of the main reasons why we didn't resign him. If he had more consistency, man, maybe we do resign him. Because he was decent. He was really good when he was on, but when he was off, he was really bad. Of course, he went to a division rival, and then you go, to the inside of the defensive line, which I think is a strength of this entire team. You go to Deforest Buckner, one of the best defensive tackles in the league. He definitely got snubbed for Pro Bowl last year. Definitely got snubbed. Um, you know, I think we saw the difference when Deforest Buckner came over. We saw how much he opened up for guys around him, how much he opened up for the linebackers. You know, just made it harder on opposing offenses to take the ball downfield and just make it harder on other teams, and that's the main goal. And that indeed he did. That indeed he did that, and he changed this defense. So we all know about Buckner. We all know he was an awesome dude, and he really transformed this defense and changed it. And then you go to a guy in Grover Stewart who is immensely underrated, immensely underappreciated. Grover Stewart is, he's an amazing run stopper, one of the best one techs in the league, if not the best. I'm excited to see him come back in next year. He got paid this year as well. He got paid. So, I'm excited to see, him come back and keep working hard and keep making a big difference on this Colts team. And then you have your guys in Taylor Starworth. I think he might come back. Yeah, I'm not sure, but you got him. I know Sheldon Day isn't here now. Um, I know you have I'm losing someone. Taquan Lewis can play edge and inside, so he's a very versatile defender. You have a lot on this defensive line. It's very versatile, a lot of versatility. My thought about Deo Adangbo is I think he's gonna more so be planned for the inside. I think he's gonna play more of the inside. Yeah, he may be listed as an edge rusher, and he can definitely play edge. That's for sure. But I also think that he's gonna play inside more because of how big he is. Could you imagine Deo Adangbo and DeForest Buckner on the inside of that defensive line? And then having Kamoka Ture coming off that edge with that spin move, with that nasty spin move after the quarterback. And then maybe Kwity Paye just whacking him as he's trying to get away from Kamoka Ture. Man, that's just something. And, I that's what I think that this defensive line is capable of. But is it going to go from good to great? I don't know. Are we capable of 40-plus sacks? Definitely. Most definitely we are. Um, I'm really excited for this defensive line. It's young. They're hungry. They're really talented. I'm excited to see what they have for the future. I'm excited to see what they're going to do on this defense to see the big difference that they're going to make. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And today's episode, we talked about the Colts defensive line and my thoughts on it. And can they go from good to great? Definitely. But will they? That's a bigger question. I think so. I think they could, but do they? I'm honestly going to say no, because they're still the edge rushers are still very young and unproven. So if Kamoka does come out and perform like I was saying, then I think we'll be perfectly fine. I think that defense is going to be awesome. I think that defense line is going to be great. So that's all I got for you guys today. Like I said, thank you for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show. Give me your prediction on how many sacks you think that the Colts are going to get, and that's going to be it for today's episode. As always, I will talk to you guys later.